And welcome to Mr. and Mrs. X. This is episode 35. And if you want to listen to Mr. and Mrs. X, you can go to Rumble, sign up to Rumble Premium. You can watch every single show on Rumble ad-free. But if you just want to listen to X22 Report and Mr. and Mrs. X ad-free, you can come over to the X22Report.com site and you can sign up to the secure server there. And I'd like to introduce Mrs. X.
Hey, everyone.
And today we're going to talk about the illusion that the deep state, the D's, created in this country. And when you look at the country, you could see as more and more evidence is being exposed on what they've been doing, you could see that everything now is turning out to be an illusion. And I think they needed to create the atmosphere to make you believe that there's racism, believe that you have to pay taxes, believe that we had to go to war to support their system. And I think people and also pay taxes to support the government. I think the illusion that they created is falling apart.
Yeah, because it really is an illusion, because they really made you feel like you were responsible for like everything. Like you think about climate change, you think about, like you said, racism, and just like we're just always fighting all of these things, and it creates a very negative mindset and a very negative climate. And it definitely is part of why we're here now. I mean, when I look at all of this, you know.
So just a couple days ago, the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, came out with an announcement that they're indicting the Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC. And what we've learned from SPLC is that they actually paid the organizations to create the racism that we see today. Now, I just want to go back a little bit in time, because if you go back a little bit in time when Obama came into office, he's the one who started the division in this country. Actually, if you look
100%.
At this, if you look at the stats before that, racism and you know, people talking about different races going against different races and things like that was pretty much non-existent. Actually, if you go back to the 70s, the 80s, it was completely starting to disappear. When Obama came on the scene, all of a sudden, it started to pick up again. And what's very interesting is that this is when the SPLC started to really gain traction. And it started early on, and then in 2014, it picked up steam, and they had to create the division in this country. So they would pay Ku Klux Klan, they would pay the Aryan movement, they would pay the Nazis.
I have a whole list. It's the KKK, United Klans of America, Unite the Right, National Alliance, National Socialist Movement, the Aryan Nations Affiliated Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club, the National Socialist Party of America, which is also known as the American Nazi Party, and the American Front. That's just some of the violent extremist groups that they've been funding.
Right. So they had to create the division. Now, what's very interesting about all this is that most of the individuals that work in the SPLC are black. So they're paying the KKK. Now, we know going back in time, the Democratic Party, they're the ones who created the Ku Klux Klan.
Yes.
They're the ones who did all these different things. And what's very interesting is that they're still doing it. They're still supporting the KKK. I mean, look, who is Hillary Clinton's mentor?
Yeah. It was that Klan guy. That it was the head of the Klan, I believe, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was Byrd. So he was a senator, and actually, Biden, Hillary Clinton, and the rest, they were all buddy-buddy with this guy.
Yeah.
And I think that should tell you everything you need to know. So they created an illusion in this country to make you believe that racism is on the rise. And the only way that they could do that was to pay people to do it. Well, which is very interesting.
Well, because think about it, and look, you know, because I don't remember growing up hearing about white privilege and this, but like all of a sudden these became very popular terms and very, you know, and very common things to say or accuse people of, or like, well, you don't understand because of your white privilege, you know, and all these things, and it was just creating more and more divisiveness, you know. It reminds me of this author I used to read, Louise Hayes, and she said, what you put your attention on, it like grows. Like, you know, if all you're focusing on is racism, anti-Semitism, you know, if you're always focusing on those things, it just gets bigger and grows.
Yeah, that's what you're going to get.
And that's what you're going to get. And I feel like that was part of Obama's plan, like, because instead of being about like, you know, President Trump who wants to make America great again, peace through strength, kind of thing. It's a very different mindset, in my opinion, from what Obama was basically like, you should be sorry for breathing. We all have to, do our part because you're ruining Earth and you exist and that's no good. And that was really his rhetoric. If you really go back and listen to his speeches and what he was telling you, he was a very good orator, very good speaker.
Very good snake oil salesman.
Yes, but if you really listen to the words he's saying, it was never for this country, and it was never about promoting peace and bringing, if anything, as our first black president, even though, to me, he should have never been president in the first place because he's not a citizen of the United States.
Well, that was another illusion, isn't it?
Yes, another illusion, exactly. And but when you hear him speak and you hear him talk about these things and you listen, he's never been for this country. He wanted this to happen. He wanted to create this divisiveness. He wanted to destroy America. And, and he almost succeeded, honestly.
Well, think about all the things that he put into place. You think it was to assist you and help you. I mean, even going back to the Affordable Care Act, this was not to help you get health insurance to make it cheaper.
Another illusion.
Right. It's another illusion. And basically, back during the time when he was implementing this, he, as a dictator, he says, if you don't take this, I'm going to tax you and penalize you.
Yes.
So you must take what the dictator says you must take. So basically, he was making the insurance companies very, very wealthy and giving us very, very poor health insurance and making it difficult for the people. Add on top of that, Common Core. So again, he created this program, Common Core, and he made it seem like it was going to be great for all the schools because it sounds great, Common Core. But again, it was used to dumb down the American people. Then add on top of that, to push the racism and the division, to keep the illusion alive, they created DEI. So, I mean, start to put all this together, and he created the illusion that we're living in today. So they actually trained people. Now, you have to really wrap your head around this. They actually trained people to be racist. That's what DEI is. I mean, if you strip it all away, they had the SPLC. They used that to pay people to create the racism. So you see it on TV, the fake news, and social media everywhere. Then in college, in schools, they had to train the people to be racist without people, you knowing that you're being trained to be racist.
Right.
I mean, think about what they did here. It's diabolical.
I was just going to say it's diabolical.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's funny that we both had the same word, but okay. It is diabolical. It's like, you could just see him like I just picture him like with his when you would see like the cartoons, like with the evil hands, like, he, we did it, because that's really what he was doing. And that's why I think a lot of our young people are struggling. Like, they have no idea who they are. They don't know what to believe in. They don't understand why this country is so great. They want to hate America. They've been taught them to hate America, and then to really just be against each other and just, and be like, and be victims. And then you owe me something. And it's a very negative system he was creating, for sure.
And really think about why they were doing it. I mean, now it's all starting to click with me. I might be late to the game. I don't know. But think about it. When Joe Biden cheated in the election, and it wasn't just him alone, it was many other people, but again, it's all the same people, and he was in the White House, and Obama, of course, was dictating what needs to be done because it's part of his agenda. And if anyone thinks that Obama is just sitting on the sidelines having fun and, going to dinner, and Hillary Clinton, no, they're orchestrating and running everything behind the scenes.
Oh, 100%.
That's what they're doing right now. But think about it. They use the SPLC to create division, to create racism, to say, look, there's racism here. They use Common Core to dumb down the people. They use DEI to train people how to be racist without them knowing that they're racist. And then they open up the borders to the illegals. And if you notice, they always call them brown, black. Oh, you're racist against these people.
Yep.
Now think about why they had to train people and have the Karens come out to protect the brown and black people.
Right.
Even though they didn't even realize that they are the ones that are being racist.
Right.
Because it was all part of their plan to make people feel guilty that people are saying they shouldn't be here or they shouldn't be allowed in this country. And this was all part of their plan.
Yeah, well, because then they start that stolen land argument.
Right.
They say we're a nation founded by immigrants, which we are, but you can't. that they took it too far, like what you said, and then they make it like, oh, well, you're all a bunch of racists because you don't want to let people into the country. No one said that we don't want to let people into the country, but we have a way to do that. Like not one other country in the world is just like letting the floodgates be open and letting them pour in, because otherwise it's a detriment to your country. It depletes resources. But Tom Homan actually, I thought, summed it up really, really well, and I thought it was a great video. That I don't know. Why don't we play it and then we can break it down?
Yeah, let's play the clip. He explains what happened during the Biden administration.
But what they did wasn't mismanagement. It wasn't incompetence. It was by design. They knew exactly what we were doing. And let me tell you why. Because under Barack Obama, they gave me an award for removing almost 500,000 illegal aliens, right? Alejandro Mayorkas was the deputy secretary at the time. Joe Biden was vice president. We had a surge at the border under Obama. We shut it down. How did we do that? We detained everybody. We built family residential centers to hold families. We made them see a judge. 90% lost their hearings, were sent home, the numbers tanked. So they know how we fix it. Don't release them, make them see a judge, remove them. So now that Alejandro Mayorkas is the secretary, Joe Biden's the president, what do? They don't detain them, they don't make them see a judge, and they handcuff ICE so they can't deport people. They did a complete opposite of what they know worked when they were vice president and deputy secretary. This wasn't mismanagement, this is on purpose. They thought they would see a future political benefit in bringing millions of people, illegal aliens, put them in sanctuary cities, and he also overturned the Trump census rule, hoping to be counted the next census, which results in what? More seats in the House for the Dems. Plus, they thought they were going to be future Democratic voters. They sold this country out for future political power. And in my mind, in my opinion, that's treasonous.
I was going to say, I just thought he explained that very well in a nutshell, exactly what they were doing. And I agree with him. It's absolute treason. And it was definitely a political plan motivated for future votes for them.
Well, not even just votes. I think we need to take a little bit further, because when you look at the illusion that they created with the SPLC, with Common Core, with DEI, bringing in the illegals, it was definitely to destroy the fabric of this country.
Yeah.
It was to infiltrate and invade this country, because really, when you look at what was going on, and I think Eric Schmidt put out a very good graphic showing how many illegals came to this country, and every single dot represented 100 illegals coming in, and it's just overwhelming when you look at it. And it's not just, hey, look, we have a couple people coming in here. It's a gigantic invasion.
Yeah. And
they invaded this country because, again, Barack Obama creating this illusion, because again, he's planned this all out. He knew that, and the deep state players knew, that they couldn't invade this country from the outside because our military is way too strong. There's no way they'd be able to do it. But if they invaded the country from within, without people knowing, slowly but surely, dumbing down America, dividing the people so you don't know who the true enemy is, treating them how to be racist to keep the division up, bringing in all the illegals and moving them to certain areas within the country. I mean, it's, when you look at an invasion, if you look at like real war and you look at invasions and you look at armies coming in, you bring them to different cities, to different towns, and you conquer,
you take over
those areas. And you could see it, because look at Minneapolis, look at California, look at New York. You could see that those places have been conquered.
Yeah.
See, when you think of the sanctuary cities, yes, they're protecting all the people that they brought in. They're invaders. That's what it is. Basically, the sanctuary city says this is now their territory. This area has been conquered by these people, and the United States government or anyone else cannot touch them because it's a protected area. That's what they're really saying.
100%.
This is how they did the invasion.
Yeah. And it's scary because, and then you as a country, you lose your culture, you lose your fundamentals, you lose that because they're taking over, they're conquering your land. And then what happens when a land gets conquered is that it becomes something else. it's not what it was, and that's what they were doing on purpose. I mean, look at London right now. I mean, it's unrecognizable, honestly.
It really, well, not just London. If you look at Paris, if you look at Germany, if you look at all these different locations, Spain, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
It's a complete and utter disaster. And you could see that they've lost control of their countries. You might think they're in control, but they're not. They've lost complete control of the country because, again, if you look at the individuals who are in the leadership spot, the prime ministers or the presidents, they're all installed. They're all on board with the deep state players. So when you look at this and you step back and you take a 40,000-foot view, we've been living in an illusion.
Yeah.
Because when you even go to the money fraud and I guess the money laundering, that you can call it fraud, but it's how their system actually operates. The money goes into the SPLC. The SPLC then gives it to other NGOs, other organizations, and they spread it around to make the system that we're in today, to keep the illusion alive.
Well,
and they censor people. They don't want, talking about it.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, when you were saying that, I think people are frustrated that they're not seeing these like arrests and all of these things by the administration. And what I think is so interesting, because, you know a lot more than me, but we know it's bad. But then when you see things like this come out this week with what the FBI director Kash Patel was sharing, that you don't realize when you find out about the indictment and what's in the indictment with the SPLC, you don't realize, and this is just one organization, by the way, you realize how bad it is. And I think that what's happening is people were expecting it to go a certain way. You were expecting arrests or whatever, but you have to gather evidence to take these people down. And I think they also had to take time to do these investigations and to get these indictments going, because you had to figure it out, because they're very smart. They've been doing it for a long time, and how they're doing the money. And I hate to say it, the money is what's fueling all of it, because if you don't have the money, you don't have the power, and it goes hand in hand. But I think that them taking this route and this information coming out, it has to be this way. Yes, it takes more time because you have to do it the right way. You have to gather the evidence so these people can have a trial where they will be convicted because they did do crimes. But if you don't take the time to put in the effort to the investigation, it's going to be for nothing. You know what I mean? And I think it had to be this way. And I think it's showing everybody, you guys, it wasn't just a little bad. It was bad. It's really bad and deep and dark. It is.
I think that when you look at the country and you look at most people, yes, they watch the news. Yes, they might look at social media now. But again, what Trump and his team are doing, and you have to go back to the very beginning, and you go back to when he brought Elon in. Now, if everyone believes that, hey, look, it just started at that point where they started to realize, hey, look, they've been laundering money, you're fooling yourselves, because President Trump started investigating and gathering evidence a long time ago in his first term. He needed to understand how the system of illusion worked.
Yeah.
What organizations they paid, what terrorist organizations they used. And it's not just in this country.
No.
It's around the world. How do they keep the control, and how can I go about breaking the illusion to show the people every step of the way, this is what they created to keep you in this illusion and the idea that everything that they were saying is fake. So if Trump came out and said, hey, by the way, let me just tell you this. The SPLC, they create racism. Would anyone believe him?
No.
Everyone would say, you're out of your mind. Oh, here's another crazy thing he's saying.
Well, they say he's the racist. I mean,
right. This is why he had to show you. And what he's really doing, if you really look at this, every step of the way, and he started with Elon in the very beginning, and if you notice, he came out very, very quickly and did this very quickly. So do you think they just went in there and said, hey, look what we just discovered? Or do you think they already knew what they were going to do?
I think
it was already planned. Yeah. It was already ready to go. So they knew it was 14 computers in the Treasury. They knew that the money passed to NGOs, to USAID and the rest. He needed to show people, and that was the beginning stage. Look, you see this? You might not understand it right now, but it's going to be explained later on as time goes on. The reason why we shut this down is because they're laundering money to other locations. Now, at the time, people went, oh my God, why is he shutting down these programs? All the Ds came out and said, oh my God, all the charities and everything, they're not going to get their money.
Yeah.
People are going to go starving. Again, you didn't understand where the money actually went. So then as time went on, all of a sudden you saw Minneapolis. All of a sudden you saw the Somalis. And remember,
all those daycares.
Right. They used the Somalis to daycares. And remember, Obama started that, by the way. They use that because they're the front men, front women. They're not the masterminds. They're the lower level. Remember, the system is in layers. So this is what they did. And step by step, what he did, he's breaking the illusion so you understand what the illusion is. It's almost like the movie The Matrix.
It is like the movie The Matrix.
Like when Morpheus says to Neo, I can't tell you what the Matrix is. You have to experience it yourself, because if I tell you, it'd be very, very hard for you to believe it. So while Neo was in the Matrix, you can't see the Matrix because you're in it. You're in the Matrix. You can't see it. The only way he was able to see the Matrix is that they had to pull him out of the Matrix and put him in a point where he could see it at a 40,000-foot view.
Yes.
He could see from the outside. So what is Trump doing right now? He's allowing you to see the illusion. Remember, you've been in this illusion. Yeah. You've been in this area where you're like, I pay my taxes to support the government. We have to do it. We give to charities because we're helping feed the hungry. These are the racists. There's racism running rampant. This has all been an illusion. And the only way you could see it is to expose it and actually make you see it from a different view.
Yes.
That is what he's doing, because otherwise you would not understand it. You would not see it. You would not understand it. And as we go along in this journey, because that's really what it is, every step of the way, he's going to be removing these obstacles and breaking the illusion so you can see it firsthand. And all those people that never believed, all those people that said, no, it can't be a worldwide conspiracy. Right. They can't be working with Iran. They can't be working with Venezuela. They can't be working with the cartels or the drug dealers or the terrorists. No, that can't be. You're going to find out that, yes, they've been everything that you see is part of their system.
Well, I was going to say, it even goes out about President Trump calling out Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and all of it, and Candace Owens, and saying these people pretended to be on our side, or pretended, for a while.
You mean it's part of the illusion?
That's what I'm saying. It's all part of the illusion, and that's what he's showing. It's not just like the daycares. It's not just where you've been maybe donating to like an organization that you thought was on the up and up, and then you realize their money's going somewhere else. And when he's showing all of this, that it's that infiltration that on every level to keep the illusion up, because that's how it makes it believable. It's very interesting, because actually it was funny. I think Dan Bongino was talking about this the other day, which I thought was interesting with Nancy Pelosi. Back in 2017, she was talking about what they called a tactic, which was a rap smear, which is someone puts out like a smear, something nasty about somebody. Like, for example, like they actually went after Kash Patel this week, right? And interestingly enough, timing's everything. He was putting out this big announcement with the indictment this week. And then what happens is, then someone puts out a smear on someone, for example, and this is 2017, she was talking about this, and they say something, and then the news picks it up, and then another news organization picks it up, and then it validates it, and then people are hearing it, so then people believe it must be true, because why would the news report on it? And it's again, and then she goes,
and then the D's use it,
and then they use it again, right? And she goes, they call it a rap smear. It's like it has a whole name and everything, and again, it's part of that illusion that people make up something about you, and then they give it validity by putting it on the news or reporting it or printing it, for you to consume. And then as a consumer, you believe it. And then it's really hard to make people not believe it, because they think, oh no, it's on the news, it must be true. And it is all part of this illusion. And I think it's why you have such a hard time. It's like all of a sudden when you're like, wait a minute, I thought that Marjorie Taylor Greene was America first, and that now she's out there bashing and whatnot, and you see Tucker. I mean, everyone's like, I used to watch him on Fox. He was so instrumental with the president and getting elected. And then now you're like, wait, I can't trust him now. Like, you don't know. And I think people get lost and confused, and I think it's all part of it. But I think when you're tearing apart the illusion, that's what happens. And then also I think a lot of these people are panicking now because President Trump's like in The Wizard of Oz, he's pulling back the curtain and going, look what's going on here. We've been manipulated for a very long time. And it just was interesting that, again, I feel like the Dems always tell you what they're doing. You just have to know to look for the signs. And it's interesting that in 2017, Nancy Pelosi was talking about, like, this was no big deal. It's a tactic. Yeah, it's a tactic people use. And it's It's a
Well,
crappy
because-
tactic because you're smearing somebody's good name.
Yes, because over time, this is what they've done. Because how do you control what's going on? How do you control the illusion?
Exactly.
So this is why they had to keep doing this, because otherwise the illusion would get away from them. So they need to control it. And with Cash, you were saying about the SPLC, the indictment, and the story that came out, because again, it came out from the Atlantic. Actually, that story was passed around to many different publications, and there was no verification of the story whatsoever. Steve Jobs' wife owns the Atlantic. She donates heavily to the SPLC.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman who actually wrote the article also wrote the article about Kavanaugh. So I think that tells you everything you need to know there. And they knew the indictment was coming, so they had to put out a hit job to make everyone question it. But again, you have to remember, this goes way beyond Cash, because he didn't put out the indictment.
No.
The grand jury put out the indictment. The grand jury looked at all the evidence that was presented. And this is documented evidence showing money laundering, showing how they had offshore bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a corrupt criminal system, and that's what they protect. That's what the deep state players protect. That's why they keep you in this illusion, because they don't want you ever looking at the true enemy, and the true enemy is them. That is who the true enemy is.
Well, that's why they tried to make Cash look bad, and this is what they do over and over again. They've done it with President Trump over and over again. That they put out this thing. Actually, it's funny because we were talking about this the other day. Is our founding fathers again were so smart? What was one of the things that was very important to them was you're innocent until proven guilty. But what they've been doing with these, and President Trump is definitely a victim of this.
Oh yeah,
they say that you're guilty and you have to go prove your innocence, saying that. And this is what they've been doing, the opposite of what our founding fathers wanted, and here it is.
No, that's what they do with all these stories.
Yes,
they knew they know they can't do this in the courts.
Right.
So what they do is they use the same tactic that the deep state players have been using, the British government and the rest have been using, going way back in time, like you mentioned. That you put out a lie, and it shows that you're guilty, and then what you have to do is you have to prove that you're innocent. Now, the lie has no fact, no basis, nothing whatsoever. Actually, if you go back to the time of the British government, in a court of law, they would create a lie, and then you would have to show and prove that the lie is false. It's almost impossible to do most of the time. And how do you prove that you weren't I mean, think about this for a second. They're saying that Cash was drinking. He gets into. So how do you prove you were not drinking?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And this is how they do it. And they know it's going to take a long time. So you have to get character witnesses. You have to get people to say this is not true. Even if they show video, you don't know when the video is from. I mean, yes, do people go to parties? Do people have fun? Doesn't mean it's on the job.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine if you went to a party, a New Year's Eve party or a birthday party, whatever it is, and someone filmed you and you had a little bit too much to drink, you got a little buzz or whatever it is, and then you're in government and they keep showing this footage of you acting like that. Well, this was at a private party, and you're allowed to act that way at a private party. It doesn't mean that you're acting like this in your position. Just like if you had a regular job, it doesn't mean that you're at work acting like this.
Exactly.
So this is what they do to try to convince you of all this.
Yeah. Well, it's
to keep the illusion alive, of course.
To keep the illusion alive. And to also, it takes away from the story about wait a minute, they were funding these organizations, and this is where this money was going. And then you're just talking about the FBI director, and you're not talking about what the grand jury found and what the indictment actually, and go read it and say, wow, this is really bad what they've been doing. And they've been creating all these problems that really weren't problems in the first place. They're making problems, and they're using your money to do it. And
then go back to Tom Homan's point, bringing all the illegals. I mean, they knew exactly how to stop it. I mean, he got
an award for it.
Right. If you go back a little bit in time, Biden was saying, oh, no, we need Congress to do this. You don't need Congress. They know exactly.
He knew that.
Again, they kept the illusion alive that he can't do anything. The Republicans are keeping it from happening. So they kept the illusion alive that nothing could be done. This is the way it is. And everyone believed it, except those people that were actually looking into it. And think about how they had to keep the illusion alive that they could keep their seats in Congress. So the census counted the illegals, which allowed the Democrats to have the seats that they have. Again, another form of an illusion. And if you look at Virginia or California with the gerrymandering, I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. Virginia
That was the next thing.
pretty much voted for President Trump.
Yes.
But you're trying to tell me that they should get more seats in Virginia? It makes, 5%, I'm just making up a number, like 5%, voted for Kamala. The rest voted for Trump, but they should have more seats on the Democratic side. Again, it's another form of the illusion that they keep going.
Yeah. And thank goodness for like Governor DeSantis of Florida, saying, no, don't worry, we can counter that, because we need strong governors in place too. Like I said, President Trump can't do this alone, because these governors in these corrupt states are out of control. Like they just don't care. They cheat. They do whatever they have to do. And thank God that the judge said that it was unconstitutional, and they turned that
there's
around.
an
Whatever they
injunction
were
right
doing
now, so which actually stops it, and it has to go to the appeals court and the Supreme Court and everything like that. So, by the time that happens, they're going to rule that it's unconstitutional completely.
Yeah.
And the wording, they cheated in it to get it done. The wording was all messed up, so people didn't understand what they were even voting for.
That's classic, yeah.
And with DeSantis saying that, hey, we're going to redistrict Florida because Florida's changed.
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to gain even more seats in the end, which is going to assist us.
Yeah. And I think that's a powerful
and even the
message.
elections. We talk about the elections. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but
that's okay.
The elections are also an illusion. Think about it.
I know.
The entire world that we are living in is their illusion. They actually kept us in the matrix.
No, I know. And we're just the cash cows that keep funding it all. That's what we've been doing. We're basically like slave labor.
No, that's really what it is.
We're working to put money in their pockets so they can fund these organizations. They've gotten very wealthy. And of course they don't want anything to happen. Look what Thune's doing right now, where he's, basically saying he doesn't care what 85% of the American people want, because he just wants to save his own, forget save America. He's saving his own ass, honestly. He's just sitting there because he doesn't want to be ousted. And honestly, I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like there has to be an option, because he's blocking. He's blocking what the people want. And that is a really big problem in Congress. Because I feel like, who keeps them accountable? Yes, I know, whatever, but I feel like they've created so many blockades in Congress that it's not working as effectively as it was intended by our founding fathers.
You know why? Because there's another part of their illusion.
Yeah, to keep the illusion.
You think they represent we the people?
No.
That's the illusion right there. They're installed in these positions, and they do not represent anyone except their master, who's above them, telling them what to do. So once again, when you start to look at this, Trump, he's basically showing you their illusion, what you've been living in. And a lot of people it's going to be a difficult time for people, because it's one gigantic lie.
Yeah.
The world that we've been living in is a lie. And I don't mean the world with your family and your children and those things, but the world that they created to make you believe all these things are true. It's one gigantic lie. You're going to start to learn that the terrorists that we've seen, they created. You're going to learn that the war on drugs wasn't really to stop the drugs. It was to shut down the other drug runners, so the deep state players would be the only ones supplying the drugs. The taxes that you pay does not go to fund the government. It goes to fund the illusion that you're living in. The whole thing they created to control you.
Yeah. It's scary when you think about it.
And if you go back, and this is probably why they made the movie, to throw it in your face. Look, we control you. We control everything that you do in your life. We control what you have to pay. We control what insurance you have to get. We control if you believe there's racism in the country. We control that, if we say you have to go to war, you have to go to war. We control what drugs you take. They control it all.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's one gigantic messed up illusion.
Well, and that they're really trying to make you second guess, I feel like, your natural instincts, your common sense. I think that's why President Trump keeps bringing up common sense, because common sense has gone out the window for most people, because when you see like that, that there's, certain individuals in this country that are, falling right into the Kool-Aid and, and mutilating their children, which, if you would have told, again, if you would have told me, like, as a little girl that I would be, like a mom in the future, and I would see other women mutilating their children because they're saying that they were born wrong. Like I can't. It like the fact that we're even discussing this, like that. Oh, there's more than two genders. Like I can't even believe
look
the
at the
time we're living
illusion that
in.
they were trying to convince
But
you
it
of.
also, but that's just it. It's like gaslighting, like on crack. It's insane, to be like to gaslight people that much to make your own people believe that this is the right way to go, or that there's not men and there's not women, and doing all of these things. But it also, I feel like, creates a lot of distractions. So maybe you're not looking at other things because you're caught up in this other nonsense that like, no, there's 4,000 genders, and I'm like, what? And you're just sitting there like, am I living in like an alternate universe? And you know what? We are. I just feel like that this is not the world that I remember growing up in, and I just feel like it's gone totally off the rails. And then when you see information like this coming out this week, and like I said, I know everyone's frustrated because they want to see a different kind of arrest. I think everyone's just been, waiting for this, whatever, because everyone has these expectations of how they think it's going to go down. But I think President Trump and his team, that the investigation piece of this is crucial to making this stop. Because yes, President Trump has his term, but then what do we do in the future? We have to make this stop. Otherwise, it'll just continue when we get a new president in there. You know what I mean? If we don't really get to the bottom of this and this cheating and kind of reset our system, because really right now, they need to untangle it all. And I think that's what's taking so much time. And I think that's why people are getting frustrated.
Well, I think it's almost like a chess match. And I think most people play chess or at one time
have at one time or another.
So when you play chess, do you go directly at the king, or do you remove all pawns and other pieces first to get to the king? Because remember, the pawns, the rook, the knight, the bishop, the queen, what do they protect? They protect the king. So think about what Trump is doing right now. What on a big chessboard, what is he doing? He's removing the pawns, the lower level people that might do us harm. He's removing the knights, the rooks, the bishops. And this is what you see happening right now. So when you look at the SPLC, when you look at USAID, when you look at Venezuela, when you look at Iran, he's removing these pieces from the board. This is everything that was there was to protect the king, to protect those people that have been orchestrating all of this. Actually, when he came into the executive branch, when he took over the FBI, and remember, this is FBI 2.0, this is not the deep state FBI anymore. When he took over the DOJ this time, when he took over DHS, CIA, he started to remove those pieces on the board. Because remember, those agencies were put into place. They were pieces on the board to protect the deep state system illusion, their entire system. Mm-hmm. He removed it. So piece by piece, he's removing all of it to get to the king. That's when you get the arrests.
Right.
Because when you have the leverage, when you have the strength behind you, that's when you can make the move. And that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that's why he doesn't go directly to Obama or directly to Hillary Clinton, because they're using their pieces to protect them. Yes. So let's I'll use an example. Yeah. Let's say right off the bat he came into office and he says, we're going to arrest Obama. Would anyone know why he's arresting him? No. It wouldn't make any sense to anybody. Why are you arresting Hillary Clinton? Yeah, people might not like her, but why are you arresting? Why are you arresting John Brennan? Makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Why are you arresting Clapper? Why are you arresting Comey? It makes no sense. Remember, he has to show the people the illusion. He has to show what the criminal system actually looks like, so you understand why we'll be going after these people. Plus, you had to remove those people in that place. So if he went and he arrested these people, what at the time where the deep state players had more leverage back then, would they do harm to the American people? Would they have some type of false flag to stop the arrests? Yes, they would.
But they would do anything, because they're going to do anything that they can to keep their way of life going, because
Yes.
they want the illusion, because they benefit from the illusion the most. I mean, not us, but they do. I mean, that's very obvious.
And this is why he has to do it this way, because again, we have one chance to do it, and you have to break down the entire system. Because again, most of the people in this country, and I'm not talking those people that, have been following this along and they want it over with. I'm talking about the everyday person, your brothers, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your sisters, your parents, whoever it is, who really pay attention a little bit, but, don't pay attention that much, don't really do that much research. For them, it's hard to believe. But as they see it every single day, wait, they paid the Ku Klux Klan? They paid
I know.
the Aryan... wait, what's going on here? This doesn't even make sense. Wait, this isn't real?
Right.
All of a sudden, they start to wake up.
They start to question.
And as Trump would say, they start to use common sense. They start to think logically.
Yes.
That's what he wants the people to do.
No, and I think he's succeeding. I do see it more and more. And I think, even for someone like me following it, like, you don't even realize like the level of corruption. I mean, you do, but it's like, wow, it's really bad. Like, because when you realize what they're funding and how they're getting away with it and how they've been doing it, and it makes sense. But you're like, wow, here you're thinking that, oh, here's this great organization that's doing good work, and then you find out, oh my God, no, they've been going to these extreme hate groups and giving them money and giving them power and making these scenarios. And really, it's a detriment to our society. It's a detriment to our children. I mean, to be teaching our children to hate our country is just disgusting. It's a disgusting
it's another
thing.
part of their illusion.
And it is. It's disgusting.
I mean, think about it. If this is why Thune, and you mentioned this before about Thune with the Save America Act.
Yeah.
The reason why they really don't want to pass the Save America Act, because it would actually break the illusion of the elections. People would then see that the Democrats do not get any votes.
Right.
And all of a sudden, everyone would start to question the elections. Wait a minute. We have the Save America Act. You have to show voter ID. You have one-day voting, paper ballots, no mail-in, and they didn't get any real votes? Because you have to remember, their votes come from what? Cheating.
Mm-hmm.
The Save America Act would break their illusion of the elections.
Well, I think the Democratic Party would probably be no more, honestly.
Yeah.
It would be
It
a
would
whole
probably
new
cease to
start.
exist at that point.
Yeah. Because a lot of Democrats are saying that they don't even want to be associated with the party because it's going so extreme.
Right.
It's gone off the rails.
But again, that would be another part of their illusion that has really broken down. And actually, then you would have to call into question every single election before that, which Trump is going to show everyone that, again, they cheated in the 2022, well, actually 2024, 2022, and they overthrew the United States government in 2020. They cheated in 2018. They tried to cheat in 2016. But, Trump kind of used the Electoral College against them because they never saw that coming.
Right.
So back then, think about it. Just think for a second, all the way back to that time, Trump was already getting information on how they cheat in the election. Mm-hmm. He already knew back then, and this was part of the plan, how to overcome their rigged system. Think about that for a second.
He's been planning this for a bit.
to get him in to the presidency. So they studied it. I wonder who was in contact with him. It must have been the military. Really think about this for a second, because they knew this was our last chance, our last hope. And that's why they had to do it this way. So they studied how they did certain things. And ever since that time, Trump has been collecting evidence against the deep state players, allowing them to commit the treasonous crimes. Yes, they've committed treasonous crimes before, but he's been collecting evidence ever since.
This is going to be one hell of a movie one day. That's all I know.
I can't wait.
I can't either.
I can't wait till someone puts it together and we see this movie. It's
I think
going to be absolutely
happen.
incredible.
I think for sure it's going to happen. But even, and not just with our president, but it's also with the state elections.
Yes,
this has been going on. So, and at the local levels, and because you're like, wait, how is it always like the same person? Or like, no one ever gets out, and they always make it like, oh, it was a bad voter turnout. Like, really? Like, I think people really do like to go out and vote. I really haven't met many people that are like, oh, I don't want to vote. Like, people want to vote. I think that it gives, you feel like, okay. But again, goes back to the illusion. And this was a very strong theme in The Matrix, the illusion of choice. Right. Are you going to do the red pill or are you going to do the blue pill? What are you going to choose? And, and they have given us the illusion of choice within the elections. I mean, that's one of the biggest ones for sure.
That was the whole thing with The Matrix, if you really think about it.
Yes.
When they created the first Matrix, the people really didn't have the choice. Everything was perfect, everything. And then they realized, people can't live like that.
Right.
So they had to create the illusion of choice. But I guess there was anomalies in that, and sooner or later the program went haywire and they had to reset everything. And they did this in real life. Yeah. They gave you the illusion
We're living in it.
of choice until the point came where they said, listen, you have no more choices. Just like when they came out with the Affordable Care Act, you actually really didn't have a choice because you kind of did, but they were trying to force you into their choice.
Yeah.
That's why he put the penalty on you not taking the insurance.
Well, they did this with the vaccines too.
Same
with the
thing
COVID
with the vaccines.
thing. They did it.
Yes.
He said basically,
Actually, COVID was another illusion.
Yes, Biden said you have to do it. You have to take this vaccine or else,
Right.
pretty much, or else you're penalized.
And with the elections, they give you the illusion of choice. Oh, look. Oh, you want this Republican instead of that Democrat, or you want that Democrat instead of that Republican?
They're the same.
Nobody knew it was all the same until President Trump came along.
Exactly, because he's the anomaly in the matrix.
Exactly. He's the one that's basically unraveling the whole thing and actually giving you actual choices.
Right, because he believes in that, the American dream, and it's very powerful what he's doing. I say it all the time. I thank God every day that he was willing to do this, because I don't think this is for the faint of heart. I don't think I don't know any other person living on this planet right now that could pull off what he's been doing. I think it's really incredible that he stepped up, and like I said, I think he believes so strongly. I mean, you might not like him personally. You might think he's rough around the edges, what he says, but there's one thing you cannot deny. He loves this country and he wants to see it succeed. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I'm grateful every day that he's willing to do it and put in the work that most people would not do. Would just say, okay, screw it. That's it. We're done for. And I think, I'm very grateful that he's willing to do this, because I don't know where we'd be if he wasn't doing what he's doing right now.
I think we'd be stuck in this illusion and be getting a lot worse. That's where we'd be.
Boy.
Yeah. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening to Mr. and Mrs. X. Again, if you want to listen to Mr. and Mrs. X ad-free, you can go and join up to Rumble Premium, or you can come over to the X22Report.com site, and on the front page there's a banner. You can sign up to the secure server and watch Mr. and Mrs. X and X22 Report ad-free there.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate it.
Thank you.